So I'm here with Mitch Lacey from Lacey Associates, and you're actually, what are you? We had a bit of a trouble finding out your title.
We did, yeah. So I'll tell you a story on that. So I'm at a client site, and I'm not a big fan of titles, right? And there's lots of titles, and I really don't know what to put on anything. So at the last company I worked at, I had some business cards made up, and it said janitor. Now it said, you know, Mitch Lacey, janitor. Now, in America, you know, most countries, right, the janitor's the guy that comes in at night after the office closes, yeah. They clean things up.
Usually with no business cards, but... Yeah.
Usually with no business cards. So I go into this customer site, and there's 150 people sitting in front of me, and the president of the company says, Mitch, what's your title? And I go, well, I don't know, but here's my business card. And he reads it, and he goes, janitor. This is awesome! And he walks up, and he goes into the, he goes to the crowd, and he says, you see this guy? He's talking about blah, blah. He just goes on and on and on. So... yeah, from a title standpoint, I don't know. I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I'm a trainer, I'm a coach. I'm a guy that gets stuff done. Okay. I'm a doer of things and stuff.
Okay, cool. So, and welcome to Örebro and TechDays.
It's fantastic, yeah, thank you.
I know you're staying on Pacific time, though, so you have...
I am, so it's about it's 8:45 in the morning right now.
That's
right?
great.
And I think we're going to go have lunch later, or breakfast later, or dinner later.
Yeah.
At which point I will have my breakfast beer.
Okay, that's great. So you're doing a lot of sessions on agile methods and practices, and you're doing a session tomorrow.
Yes.
On agile and architecture.
Yeah. Agile architecture, because you know we hear all the time that people say, well, I do agile, I do Scrum, I do extreme programming, and because I do these things. It means that I don't have to plan. It means that I don't have to think. I don't have to document. I just code. More importantly, people always say, I don't have to do architecture. Now, I'm a firm believer of emergent design, of emergent architecture. I don't believe that a big design up front will really help a team because it really locks them into a path that may or may not be good down the road, right? Because requirements are going to change, things like that. And if you're locked into an architecture, it doesn't work. But again, it's also not free reign to just do whatever you want and say, oh, I'll figure it out as I'm coding. You have to have at least some sort of plan in place and go, okay, we know the general direction that we're going to go. So a lot about what the talk is tomorrow will be about that, is how do we do that? Right? What is emergent design? What is emergent architecture? How do we do it? How do we collaborate? How do we work together as a team to identify this? Because it obviously puts the role into the question into your mind of, well, what's the role of the architect?
Yeah.
Right now, I've got an ongoing joke, and I've got a lot of friends that I joke around with of you know, there's two types of people in software projects. You've got the people that do stuff, or there's three actually. The people that do stuff, and then you've got the program managers, people like me, and you've got the architects, potentially the people like you, okay? Now, architects traditionally are really good at Visio.
Yeah.
Program managers
drawing lines.
Yeah,
and
drawing lines.
And
we're really good at PowerPoint. So between the two of us, we can come up with a wonderful system that the team will look at and laugh and say, that's nice, good for you, that's special, and they get a little irritated with us. So anyway, long answer to
But could it also be about having the different team reuse the things that other teams do? So have collaboration between the teams, flow better? Yeah,
when you look at a large project, say Visual Studio, right? You've got 2,500 developers in there. Big project, and you've got multiple SKUs. Architecture on that will be a little more rigid than, say, a marketing website that's just going to be static HTML. Yeah. A marketing website you and I could probably think of in about, we're done. Yeah. Right? We know what it will look like. But a large enterprise system or a large development platform,
but you have dependencies.
You have dependencies, and you can't just, I mean, it's all the more reason why you can't just do the cowboy coding that people associate Agile with, of, especially the people that don't understand it. They say, I just do what I want, which, again, it's more disciplined. One of the things that I always tell people, or suggest to them, is, do you go to the gym on a regular basis? Because if you do, you understand that it's hard, but you get into that rhythm. If you don't, it's significantly harder to get up in the morning and, I've got to go to the gym today, I don't want to, I'd rather just sleep, and you hit snooze, and there you go. You go see the doctor, and you're off to the hospital to get a heart transplant.
So it's a lot about discipline.
It's all about discipline. Yeah, it's all about discipline and understanding that you can't predict the future. Yeah. Because if we could predict the future, we would have all would have read books when we were in school of the history of Europe in the year 2300.
So architecture in Agile project is to provide help and a framework, but not, you know, doing the big upfront design.
It's okay to do the big upfront design as long as you do it and throw it away.
Okay. Yeah.
Now I've got no problem with getting it done. It's
prototyping.
It's prototyping.
Yeah.
Right. I really like small things. So the best design I find is on a cocktail napkin or a 3x5 or 4x6 card. You know, just a small note card. Okay.
Yeah.
If you can sketch it out on there, well, you're significantly more constrained by the proportion of the card. As a result, your design will be smaller and more well thought out. If you do a big whiteboard, say these clouds, and we were to, you know, architect
or if
the
you
clouds,
rearrange the different little arrows in Visio forever and ever.
Right, right. You can. I mean, you could get hung up on arrows for days.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it should go this way, and I think I'm going to color it blue.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It becomes a challenge, and working software. Right. One of the principles comes from the Agile Manifesto.
Yeah.
Working software over comprehensive documentation. It ties right into that. Let's get something built, give it to our customers, because the feedback that they give us will influence future design decisions that are being made now. And it would be foolish to not be able to give our customers something that's working and ask them for their feedback. It would make much more sense to do that now, give them the feedback, and then hash it out and have the right design based on what the customer's needs were, what their real needs were, not what they asked for. Because as you know, what
get
we
that feedback loop early.
Yeah, what we ask for and what we mean are two different things.
Yeah. Okay, great. I'm really looking forward to the session tomorrow. And again, really nice having you here in Örebro in Sweden. But it's your first time in Sweden.
It's my first time in Sweden.
But it won't be your last.
It will not be my last.
Okay.
No, it will not be my last.
Great. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.